Well, hello. Jeff Africa's Last Dance, the channel where we're making it from the head to the lovely, luscious, wonderful, resonant heart. Okay? I come to you today with an open heart and the flame of my inner sun. All forgiveness, all surrender, all acceptance, all allowance, and no resistance. All forgiveness, all surrender, all acceptance, all allowance, and no resistance. All forgiveness, all surrender, all acceptance, all allowance, and no resistance. That mantra there is another thing that could get you to where we want to go. Employing those sentiments throughout your day, every day, on everything you see, that alone can get you to where we want to go here. Okay, you understand? As well as, like I say, modeling love in every moment of the day. Model love. Any situation you come in, where is the love in this situation? How can I model love in this situation? What does my heart think in this situation? Okay, these things are the things that loose our mind, get us out of that head and begin to drop into that heart and experience life with that heart resonance, okay? From ego mind to heart. That's what this is all about. And there are different ways to do it. Play to your strengths, challenge your weaknesses, okay? I'm playing to my strengths. I've told you all the things I do. It's not going to be necessary for you to do all those things. I'm not saying that it is, but it is my way. And I'm playing to my strength as you're going to play to your strengths. And there is many ways and many paths to this that we're going. And I'm telling you mine, and you're going to make up your own as you begin to see my change in the way I handle myself in this process. And I'm not there yet. I want to make sure I'm not where I want to go yet. I'm not speaking to you as if I have achieved where I want. I've achieved a number of things here, and I'm very, very happy about it. It makes my life now is much, much better than it was 10 years ago. Much better. But I'm not there yet. Okay, I want to make sure you know that. Okay, we were talking about our own social illusion complex. We are talking about the things that fascinate us, that keep our consciousness glued to our mind as we become overly fascinated with delusions and illusions in this particular 3D form. Consciousness space that we're here now in 2023. One of them is celebrityism. Okay, mass media and celebrityism. Okay, waste of time. Okay, it's based on a distortion. It's based on a lie. There's somebody bigger or better or more interesting than you. It's just a waste of time. Just start spying on your neighbor. Okay, it's equally the same. And they play to it for all it's worth. Profit taking, constantly being desirous of making ever more and more money. People that do that do it because they simply don't know any better. Okay, they don't. It's a waste of time. Okay, it's a complete waste of time to be unduly fascinated by making ever more money, as if that's the only thing there is to do. That's the only way to leave your mark on this earth is the amount of money you have packed away in your account, and that way you gain your sense of stature and all those types of things. That again too is a complete waste of time. We don't know any better. All efforts not spent on finding God, this is a quote, are a waste of time, okay? Are a waste of time. This is what a yogi from India said, and that's a pretty amazing thing to say. Now we're going to move on to sports, okay? Now sports is, I know sports. I've played sports. I swam since I was 11 years old to 18. Played water polo in high school, swam in high school, played tennis most of my life. And, so I understand the fun that you can have with sports. It's just that here in America, we've made way too much of it to the point of it being yet another distraction, keeping us from the paths that we must walk on now as we overcome our ego-driven mind consciousness into something much more vibrational, much more higher vibrational. Okay, as we step into the historical movement of humanity and play our role, play our part, not be caught in this stupid bubble, fascinated with things that really aren't all that. Okay, so sports. No, I know sports, and let me give you a quick story here. I played water polo in high school. I was from a good middle class neighborhood. Okay, there were some upper middle class areas in that, but it was mainly a solid middle class neighborhood. Washington High School was the high school I went to, and it was a nice place to be. You don't need. I didn't need anything more than that. You know, what I mean, there are a lot of richer areas in higher income areas and stuff like that. But I had everything I needed in our neighborhood, and it was fine with it. There are things that money and riches and higher. Those type of neighborhoods that aren't so hot sometimes. Some of the moneyed areas that I'm familiar with, the kids aren't quite. They're a little bit spoiled. They're almost beside the point, a little bit meaner, a little bit nastier. It's not such good news. Money breeds weird things sometimes that we didn't think it would breed. So there's that. I'm in high school. I'm 17, 18 years old. We're playing water polo. I have a game, home game. We're playing a team from probably what I would say was an upper middle class neighborhood, a little bit more than we were. We had a coach that was teaching us water polo that was about 8 years behind the time. Okay, the better schools, the more money schools had the best coaches, the best facilities, and they had that leg up. As far as that goes, so here comes this group. They come in, and they look good. They look a little intimidating, and they look like they're confident. They know what they're doing. They get into workout. We both practice a little bit. They got good skills. A lot of the school. I mean, for 200 people must have been there. 150. I don't know. 150, 200. A lot of people. Cheerleaders. Everybody was there. First on this one game. Didn't always happen for water polo, but it did happen on this game. We were sized up the situation. Okay, we start playing this water polo game. Okay, we play. We're making it through the first half. Good play. We're maybe halftime comes. We're maybe 2 goals behind. Okay, a lot of excitement in the area at this point. We do a little halftime, little readjustments, and we come back onto the field and into the water, and. We get the feeling, I start to get the feeling, hey, we can beat these guys. We can take these guys down if we handle this just right. And I'm on the bench, and I was one of the better players. I didn't always have a great desire to win, but I had a great desire to win this day. And so I jump off the bench, and I go, Coach, we can win this thing. Why am I sitting on the bench? And he goes, all right, Africa, that's right. You just get in there anytime you want. So I go, okay. I run over there, so-and-so get out, I get in. Another guy jumps off the bench. We wanted to win this thing. And we were asking the coach, just set aside for a while. Just sit there and let us do this. He gets in. He jumps in, gets in the guy. He gets in. So we start playing. For some reason, all the practice, all the skills, all the time spent on getting a better water polo player all of a sudden kick in. Okay, all the scenarios, all the things that we were supposed to do, we did, and we started playing a very well elevated game of water polo game. They were playing good too. Like I say, they're a good team. They had the skills, and so we're playing. It's a tight game. We draw even in the fourth quarter, and we it's a tussle. It's a good solid competition. The fans in the place, they're all glad they were there. They're all into it. And then we ended up beating them. We just snatched that victory from them. Okay, they were left thinking, who are these guys? We weren't supposed to lose this game. Who are these guys? And it was great jubilation, of course, in a situation like that. That would be. Coach himself the next day said, I rarely have seen anything like that. You guys really wanted to win that game, and you got out there and you beat them. And so that was nice that he would say something like that. The next day and a half, I am walking a little bit around like on air, okay? Walking around with confidence, a little swagger, not that sort of oppressive consciousness, worry about what other people thought, talk to women, nice, funny, and engaging, easily done, which I can do very well, and when the energies are right. And About a day and a half it lasted, then it dissipated. But it was a self-created high, more or less. You know, it was a high that I created. You know, I've been high, you know, enough during high school. But this is a self-created high that bred confidence and a sense of well-being. And I feel as though everybody, as an experience here in this 3D reality, should be able to feel something like that. Man, woman, whoever it is, should be able to go through something like that and experience that as a valid, nice 3D experience that just gives you a nice variety of areas in which to observe and to take a good look at this life. And it was very nice experience to have. It was you don't want to overplay it, but everybody should experience something like that. I wasn't always that way. We would be to go to a water polo tournament in California somewhere, and we would you know, in the morning, you know, it'd be, you know, the coach would say, "Now here's our first game. Okay, now we've got to get in there, but you know, if we lose this game, we've got to go home." You know, I'm going, we got to go home, and we get to go home. Come on, let's get in there, let's lose that thing. I got a joint with my name on it at home. You know, sometimes I was like that. You know, not so great. But California, too, was a mecca for water polo. I mean, high school water polo. If you're number one in California, you're most likely number one in the nation. If you were 5 in California high school water polo, you're most likely 5, 6 in the nation. The top 3, 4 teams in California are probably in the top 10 in the country now in water polo. So it was a mecca for water polo. All the universities from San Diego to Pepperdine to UCSC, UCLA, Stanford, all had great, we used to go watch them, great water polo teams. We used to get beat by some of these excellent high school teams 16-3, 18-4, you know, so these guys were huge too. For some reason, we were like underdeveloped little kids. These guys were like huge men, you know what I mean? And they just cooked us, you know. So, we were still a good team. We had some very good teams. When I was a freshman, we had a senior team they had some good players on it. But it was a great experience. So I know sports, I understand sports, but the problem is in America we simply made way too much of it. Too much of our focus is on winning. Too much of our focus is on being number one. Too much of our focus is to work hard. And there are a lot of lessons. There are a lot of lessons you learn along the way. Character lessons, how to be a good team member, how to take a win, how to take a loss, the stuff it takes to be good at something, the commitment it takes to be good at something, the fact, especially in high school sports, keeps you busy. You know, I wasn't such a great student. I didn't try so hard. I got by, but it keeps you busy, keeps you out of trouble. You know, keeps you from loitering around, you know, keeping busy after school. So there are a lot of little lessons in sports that are worthwhile and worthy. Plus, you know, all societies throughout history have had ways to have their young men prove themselves in some kind of way on a field of battle or a sports field as they develop into manhood. And there's no reason why we can't include sports in America as a part of that tradition of being able to test your strengths against others and see how well you can do, see how well you fare up, and see how you perform in the clutch. You know, that's a great thing. I'll tell you another story, but not now. How do you perform when it counts? Perform in the clutch. That was part of the thing with this victory. You know, we performed well in the clutch. You know, and it was more than just the victory that brought that feeling to me. It was the fact that I broke through some sort of self-limitation at the same time. Because yeah, we've won other times in other games, all that, and there was somewhat of that, but nothing as notable as this. Okay, it's the idea of breaking through some sort of a barrier that you had once held. You've broke through it now, and that's what allowed that that upsurge in confidence to come through and be very, very, very nice. But we've just taken it to a ridiculous level. The same reason chasing money and profit all your whole life is a waste of time. We waste our time chasing being number one. You should see the way the colleges in football behave. An NFL coach, National Football League coach, their hours in the season, their hours are from 5 in the morning to 12 at night, sometimes 1 o'clock at night. One coach on one of the teams just slept he had a cell behind his office. He just slept there and got up and started work the next day in the name of commitment to the goal of the team, which is to be number one, hold the Lombardi trophy up, one day, and be number one, the best in the country, best in the world, because no one else plays football. That for the same reason of profit, that is a waste of time. It is. Imagine all the things they're giving up. They're raising kids. They're raising kids and have a family and their wife, and they're doing that in the name of chasing being number one and the very best, and the stats, and they keep track of all this stuff, and the focus on all the sports shows that go on forever. And ESPN, there must be 5, 6, 7, 8 sports shows that are constantly commenting on sports, this sports, that sports, and it's a big, for the most part, waste of time. And I'm going to make an outlandish statement now. There is no real meaning to winning. Okay, there's no real meaning to becoming number one. It's essentially meaningless. It's a meaningless achievement. Okay, there isn't meaninglessness in the whole of the trajectory of sports. Okay, and the movement in sports, but trying to be number one and dedicating your whole life in an addictive fashion is a waste of time. We've made too much of it, it's ridiculous what we've done here. If winning in sports is a bit of a superior game, if you beat the other people, beat the other team, you're a little bit, you feel, and it's not everybody, but you feel a little superior. You get that little brush, gee, you work, that thing, that type of thing. And so there is that. And also sports is kind of the fans are belated attempt really at unity consciousness in a way that we are all on one side now. Our differences don't make a difference anymore. We're all together. We all want our team to win this game, and we talk about it, and we have something to talk about when we see each other, fans, in a sports bar or on a coffee shop or whatever. We have something to talk about, something to be unified with. So really, in a way, it's a belated attempt at unity consciousness with the way we carry on. So that is understandable. It's nice to be with a whole group of people all on the same side, wanting to win this game. There's that about that. But we've just simply converted it into a waste of time. Like I was saying before, if we would take half the time we waste on sports and watching sports, and dedicate it to the things that we are doing here and other places that are suggesting that we do also, that we need to do as a race right now, as humanity, if we would dedicate ourselves to this work, we'd all be gods by now. Seriously. So it has turned into a unfortunate waste of time. The worldwide soccer event, we got the ladies, which is one of my favorite things to watch, women's World Cup soccer. I can't watch a soccer game other than when it comes to the very best playing the very best. I used to love our female soccer team. One of my funnest things to watch. But they're kind of a little bit dumb. Screw it, I'll tell you about that some other time. We don't have time to go into it now. Now there's going to be a big hoopla about that. And America has become this one big sounding board, always sucking you out of your inner life to get you to pay attention, get your attention on these, whether it's celebrityism or profit making or sports. That's the essence of this bubble I'm talking about that has us keeping ourselves entertained and absorbed through all these things that are preventing us from doing the real things we need to do. And sports, it has become one of them, for regardless of the fact that there is some real things you can learn in sports. And I'm not arguing against sports. I'm just saying that we've just taken it too far and we're taking it too seriously. I think I have more to say, but I am going to end it right here. Let me real quick to take the difference between 3D and 5D. Look, in 5D, there's not going to be this kind of sports stuff going on, the sports organizations. In 5D, they had the competition, everybody won. Okay, and they've moved on to bigger and better things. Take my love for being in the water. I love swimming. I love being in the water, okay? And I was at the pool one day. I was 11 years old. They had a swim meet at the local pool in our neighborhood. 50, 60, 80 people were there watching the meet go down. I was watching it go down. I go, hey, I'm good in the water. I could do this. I could get some of that attention for myself. Really, they're going to love me when I get, that whole thing. So that's what started my swimming career, an 9-year-long trek of getting up every morning in the summer. I had to get up in the summer at 5:30 in the morning. I could have slept till 9 o'clock, 9:30, but no, I got up and went to swim practice when I could have laid around. So there's like one of the little benefits, little discipline it requires. There's the good thing too. But that's what led to that trek, and then water polo. It turned into a competitiveness. That's what and then measuring yourselves against one another. It turned into a competitive factor. Now, if I was in the fifth dimension, which I'm going to be, when I get into the fifth dimension, I'm going to be there in the fifth dimension. I love water, but it's not going to turn into a decades-long sports activity, recreation type activity. There may be ways that we show ourselves, and there are ways in the fifth dimension to exhibit a physical mastery. Mastery in the water will be one of them, but my love of being in the water won't be turning into a big old competitive story. You know what I mean? It's going to be something else. It's just going to be something that, I love being in the water. I love the water dance. I do these water dances that are, I'm spinning in the water, all these different ways. And it's not going to, I'm just going to, beingness-wise, love being in that water and not take it to that idea of a competition. Okay, that's the difference between 3D and 5D life. Okay, there's a good example of it right there. There's not going to be the sports leagues and competitive factors that there are in this 3D world. It's going to be we're going to be bigger than that, and we're going to be on to conscious development, levels of conscious development. That's going to be the things we're going to be focused on. Listen, I'm going to end this right here. I'm going to do one more little one as I finish my ideas on sports. But everything stands here, okay? I can say that there is no meaning in winning here in America because, number one, we have the great tradition of free speech, okay? I can say that. I can say it also because no one's really listening. Because if I had 1 million, 2 million people listening to me, I'd be very, very careful how I said that. Because if the truth ever gets out, that there's no meaning in winning, there's no meaning in being number one, this whole American structure will completely fall apart, okay? So it's a radical idea, but it is a true idea. And that is what we'll end this with. Okay, funny thought of the day. Okay, let's take this really quickly. Let's take this Jeffrey Epstein thing, okay, and Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew in the picture has his arm around the mark he wanted to, at this party. And someone takes his picture and he goes, "Oh, could you put your arm around her, please?" I go, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll put my arm around her." And so he lets himself be photographed. You know what I mean? It's like if I was murdering somebody, some guy walked by the camera and go, hey buddy, can I get your picture? Oh yeah, sure. Stand up, get this guy, I dust him off, I'm trying to murder. And you go, yeah, go put your arm around him, will you? Okay, okay, well thanks, thanks very much. Oh yeah, no problem. It's just like that. How does that happen? How does Prince Andrew, the little dull wit, which he is, allow himself? I mean, if I'm him and I'm have these nefarious desires, and there's a guy in the room running around taking pictures, I think maybe for the night I cool it. You know what I mean? But there he is with his arm around his mark, and then he has to explain all that away. What a silly thing men do when they want to hook up with younger women. They just get to be blithering idiots. Let's face it. I am Jeff Africa. I'm a citizen of Earth, a loyal patriot of the United States of America, and I stand unafraid. And these four, Mother Earth, Divine Mother, Paramahansa Yogananda, Jeshua, and Joseph, are all helping me. They are all the ones that we are together. Making this trek of mine, the trek of becoming a heart-centered human being, a reality. Okay, as we are right now, came up with ways of magnetizing the heart, and right now, as we look at these delusions in this social illusion complex, we're demagnetizing our mind, and we're going to fall to the heart and learn to perceive life from that heart chakra. What happens is that resonance raises the cells of your body. Raise resonance to match that heart center, and your whole body becomes a perceptive tool as opposed to processing things through your mind. And that's what we're after. That's where the prize is. That's where the gold is. That's where the mystery is, the wonder and the magic and the majesty is in this life. Okay, way better than this dull-witted, mind-oriented reality. Thanks very much. It's been a while since I've been here. I've been going through some stuff. Life is the progress is a circular thing. A few weeks ago, I thought that I was on, not a few months ago, I went through a day, I go, I'm finally here. But the last month has been very difficult, very weak, and no desire to do this. But I'm here today, and I feel pretty good right now. But so even though you may think you got it one day, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have it the next day in this stage right here, because it's kind of an up and down process, this whole thing we're embarking together, me and you, as we figure this thing out. Thank you. Love you so. Bye.